Alright, taking a look at Pepper here. I am Plat 5, Plat 4. I hovered between both last season support. I normally play Ana and Kiriko and a little bit of BAP mostly. Um, so just I have looked at a little bit of this, so I have some things I already want to look at. But otherwise, we'll just kind of comment on things as they go. Starting out, you're aware of the Junkrat top left, right? Here you throw sleep into a fortified Orisa. Just notice that that's actually something I've noticed from a few different people that have been watching the like bronze and silver Anas is not watching what cooldowns people have. I know there's like later you do it with as well with like Genji deflects and whatnot. Just make sure you're aware of which cooldowns you have that can counter your abilities, right? So like Fortify is just going to eat your sleep, even if you hit it on the Orisa, it's not actually going to sleep her because it negates different effects. Is this something that another thing is you be careful of where the enemy's tank is, right? You don't, especially with Ana, who's a ranged support, right? Obviously you want to be careful of this Junkrat, but since your Reaper's over here, you don't really have to worry about him at the moment, right? So you can be back probably playing like here if you know that this is where their tank is, or at least here you can swing out a little bit. If their tank is in Orisa, you really don't want to be here because at any point she can just spin in, hit a javelin, and kill people pretty easily. And if your Sigma doesn't have rock up, it's very easy for her to get quick kills on people, and that's it. She's very good at punishing out of position supports because she can just spin them like that. And you see she almost went for the Mercy, but she's being passive enough that she could get out. And again, there's not a whole reason to be up this far. Like you do have this door, but that's also a door that they can just simply come out of. So this is something that you could be playing back more, especially since, both like these half your team here. I mean, your Reaper's dead, but these other two, like two out of the three people that are alive, are behind you. You can't see when they're low, and then you're just sitting here up here with the Sigma, and this is just it's not somewhere you need to be, right? You could be here or you could be back. I probably here because their main line of fire is coming from here, right? Plus their flank, their Junkrat's over here, so this would probably be your safest place to be playing at the moment, or just even back here, right? Since they're not going to push this far back. But playing up here, it just gives them again like another chance for the Orisa to spin in, and then also it gives a chance for their Genji to just dive you at any point. If they even get enough, then their Genji could easily dash in and finish you if you get low and then dash out. So this is something I would not recommend uh, ever. I can't say that I've ever really seen it work out for just going to flank and hit an anti-nade, especially on something like this, right? Where you're essentially the only way that this is going to do anything on the backline here is if your Sigma is able to push all the way try to push all the way past their tank, right, to then land shots on the Ana, which is not very likely because they have their Orisas just sitting here keeping him from doing that, right? So in this situation, is essentially if you throw an anti and it hits somebody, make sure that it's something that can be followed up on. Because if it's something back here, right, none of your teams have. I mean, your Sigma kind of has LOS, but he's not in range, and you would have to try to push past the Orisa in order to try to hit on the anti before it comes out. And then you also notice that you put yourself out of position here, so you end up having this Genji that jumps in your face, and then you end up dying here. And this is just because you pushed up when you didn't need to. So I wouldn't recommend going for flanks with Ana. And if you're doing damage with her, that's great, but that's just not the way to do it. Yeah, that's good. Just keep moving forward. It's a little bit short with the grenade. It's a good sleep. I mean, it's the Winston was overextended, so he was going to die regardless, but it was still good reaction with it. So this is a spot that you want to be careful of, depending on what their team comp is. Obviously, you know they don't really have anything aside from their Junkrat who's dead. So, but just be careful if they have something like a Widow or an Ashe or a Soldier up here, then this is going to be a bad position for you. But because of the team comp and that like the only real range damage is, you know, all you really have to worry about is being dove by the Winston. So that's obviously this is fine, but just be aware of different team comps that can be a bad spot to sit depending on who the enemy has. Yeah, right here, like where you shoot the Genji's deflect, right? And also at this point, so your team is right here, right? And yes, sometimes people aren't aware of just what's going on and don't pay attention to the backline, right? But your Sojourn is about 2 feet to the left here. So at this point, there's no reason to sit here and try to 1v1 the Genji, right? Try to stay alive, right? And just move over here. Give your team a second to react to it, you know? Just ping him, move to the other side so that he doesn't just sit here, you know? Because I think at the end here, your Sojourn does come and, you know, try to shoot him, but she's also low. So if you came over here to your Sojourn and just gave her an extra second, she would have killed the Genji and you wouldn't have died. But instead, like, you came over here and were focused on trying to 1v1 them when your team really couldn't help you over here because she's back here and doesn't have LOS on you. So it's just something to be aware of. I see it rezzed. Okay, so this is a bad spot to be in, right? Like, sure, their monkey has dropped bubble, so he's probably not going to be aggressive, but they have 2 dive characters, right? They have they have monkey, they have Genji, they have Junkrat who's spamming bombs down this way, right? If you get hit by one bomb, like direct hit from this Junkrat, and then either one of them dives you, you are dead here. You don't want to be in front of your tank because you don't want to be the one. I mean, if they see you out of target, especially with dive, if they see you out of sorry, not out of target, but if they see you as a target when you're out of position, then that's a very easy spot to dive there. So you just back up and be behind your Sigma. Even now, like, and especially seeing how you're not even looking in the general direction, so you don't know where this Genji is coming from, so you can't look for a sleep and try to go for his Dragon Blade. And here you're focusing on the Winston. The Winston is not the priority here, right? This Genji right here, this is the one that needs to be either A, antied, or B, slept, or C, preferably both. Because he's the immediate threat. He's already killed one, and he's, you know, just going to continue to go for your team. I said this time, yep, your team's dead, so it's good just backing off, and that, I mean, that was a dart you should have been hitting there, but your Pharah also shouldn't have been peeking that. It's a good attempt on the Genji. I mean, it's yeah, you're not gonna hit all your shots. It's gonna happen. Yeah, so this right here is an example of when one of the biggest things to try to learn is not using your cooldowns randomly, especially for nade and sleep dart for Ana. Oh, sorry, 1 second. So like here where you just randomly throw your sleep dart at this Genji, right? From a mile away, that's not something that's going to hit, right? So if you had it here, right, you could sleep your Winston, or sleep their Winston, and then just walk away and live, right? And then anti him, and then have your team follow up on it. Or at the very least, you sleep him and get enough time that to move away where he can't knock you off with Primal. I think that's one of the biggest impact things. And then again, another sleep dart here into an ability that negates its ability, right? Actually, your anti and your sleep dart both go into this shield instead of waiting for him. Your Pharah is still critical. Yeah, you stop to look at this Mercy that's over here, but you should your Pharah is still critical, and if anybody's going to kill her, it's more than likely your Pharah than you. So watch out, there was a Junkrat trap there on the bottom, on the ground that nobody destroyed.